land testy of farmers, and because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the Farmers is active on Facebook, Instagram, and Thread at Voice of the Farmers. We are also on YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. For more inquiry on how to link up with Voice.
Good afternoon, everyone listening to us out there. My name is Olabusoye Olaleru. I am your host on this wonderful show that we call Meet the Farmers. You know how we do it every week. We come up with different farmers from different sectors just to come and talk about a particular topic that probably is affecting the agri sector that probably we need to discuss and talk more about. Now, today I have another host with me in the guest today. So today's show is going to be very brief and very fast because let me just say this before we start this show today. I know every one of us is going through a lot. Yes, even if you are not going through a lot is going through you. True. So definitely, I just want us to take it easy. Everything is going to be fine. So let us go to my my guest today. Sir, good afternoon, sir. May we meet you, sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Olaleru Olabusoye.
Okay.
I run a personal business called Financial Global Ventures.
Okay.
I'm the president of Commercial Agri-Fish Farmers, CAF.
Okay.
Get to know more.
You can see he said he's the president of CAF. That is something big, you know. We are talking about aquaculture sector in Badagry in Lagos. If you don't know Mr. Ola, I think you are playing. And that is why we think this particular topic that I want to discuss today, you know, Yoruba will say Entoba Mojo Buloma Benire. That is an adage that you where you sabi something well. And you suppose commerce, I can't talk about them. You know, when you're talking about aquaculture sector in Badagry in Lagos, is one of the stakeholders. When you're talking after, is just like a very close relation to the last farm president, which is Mr. Sergio Ketojino. So I know he's going to have a lot to say when it comes to price regulation in the aquaculture sector. So I'm just giving you a tip about what we are going to be discussing today, which is talking about price regulation. Yes, you know, it's something that is affecting the aquaculture sector. Let me say it's really affecting and even sending some people out of the business. That is why I said, let Mr. Ola come and explain what are the ways that we can always we can tackle this and at least try and sort this out. But before we go there, let us try to meet Mr. Ola very well. You know, when it's going, one of the reasons why we come up with this show is that we need to encourage our youths. Just let them know that there is more in the agri sector. You know, everybody call agri sector a brown collar job, or let me say a blue collar job now. Probably you need to dirty your hand before you get money from it, which is not a bad idea. So let us even hear about, did Mr. Ola even went to school to study fishery, or how do you even venture into fishery, aqua sector settlement?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I studied history and international relations in LASU.
Okay.
But after my graduation, you know, it's not that easy getting a white-collar job, as it's being called. Then, fortunately, somebody introduced a rice training to me, coming up under Lagos State, called Rice for Job, which I applied. So during the training was in Badagry here. I noticed fish farming almost everywhere in Badagry. And I noticed the availability of water, which make it easier. That's for my interest in fish farming. And most interestingly, I registered as a fish farmer under Lagos State, not having a fish or a pond.
You registered as a fish farmer under Lagos State. So you don't have even one fish or one pond.
That interest was so, I don't know, I can't even contain it. I have to go to Olabusoye, register myself as a fish farmer, not having a fish or a pond. It was after a year of the registration, I found myself as a fish farmer. Courtesy of Lagos State Empowerment, which I'm very grateful of. And I joined the association, and 2 years after joining the association, I was encouraged by the then president of Badagry Regional Chapter of LASCAFAN, Lagos State CATFISH Farmer and Another Association, Mr. Sergio, to contest on the state level as an ESCO, which I did. And fortunately, I won the election. I was part of the ESCO in the state, part of the ESCO at Badagry Regional Chapter. And ever since, I've been an ESCO. in and out. Presently, I'm the chief whip in the state.
Okay.
In Badagry, I'm the first vice chairman.
You know, one thing about what he said is this. He said he registered himself as a fish farmer with Lagos State without even having a pond or a fish, which is something that we need to even look into. Like, you know, the passion is so great that, okay, I just want to even start something. I don't have a pond, I don't have fish, but I know I can be a fish farmer, and you know, one thing he said again is that taking an opportunity, like getting an opportunity in the environment you have. Some of us are staying in a riverine area that we have enough water, but we don't really know the importance of all these things. So I think it's something that you can always emulate. You know, with the youth, we don't need to sit down and fold our arms and say, okay, we are waiting for white collar job as Mr. Ola was doing before someone introduced him. Rice farming. So let us also give kudos to Lagos State government, because I need to say this. This is not political, or maybe we are talking for the government or something. You know, we are talking about agricultural space. You know, I've not been to other states. Yes, I've not, but the Lagos I have, I will give kudos to the present administration, which is the administration of Baji Olusola is really doing a great job, and also kudos to Appeals Project as well, which has also assist many youths, both in aquaculture, both in rice, both in cooperatives and different clusters. So I want to say a very big thank you to Appeals Project for doing this, and also to Lagos State government, to World Bank as well. I want to say a very big thank you. So let us now go to the business of the day, which is the price regulation. You know, why I came up with this concept is that, you know, I know we have different fish farmers that are not in the association, because you made mention of association, that you said you are one of the executive in the state level and also in the grassroots level here. You know, there are some fish farmers, they are farmers, maybe they have a farm at their backyard, and the rate at which they sell their fish to these fishmongers are ridiculous. And you know, let us just be sincere with ourselves. I can get a fish at the rate of 1,005 outside, and you are telling me to buy from you 1,008. It's even a madman will buy from the person that is selling 1,500. So you know that I think, and you know, we are buying the same feeds. You are buying the same expensive feed to feed the fish, but you know, some of them are cutting now. They are cutting the cost now, probably feeding them with all. Let me say, I won't say it's bad feed now, but probably they are trying to find alternative. So, in your own view, sir, as an ESCO and as a fish farmer, an active fish farmer, sir, what do you think? Let's start with the problem first. What do you think is the problem of price regulation in the aquaculture sector?
I think the present situation is good for us now. Reason because it's going to bring us more closer. Because we've been fighting this issue of coming together. Okay. When we have one voice, it's there for us to really say things, and people will listen to us. But we have many voices. Not everyone will hear us. And at state level, at zonal chapter levels, we'll be fighting this. We need to come together under one umbrella to enjoy this fish farming. I can't really say we got it all wrong compared to other agri enterprise, because fish farming is an edible business. Not just edible, essential edible business, which is the prospect I saw before venturing into it.
Okay.
And anything edible is supposed to bring profit, because it's something that goes on every day. And if you notice, there is a certain age you advise you to stop eating meat.
Sure.
It's not the same case in fish. You can eat fish as long as you, because fish is a protein that helps us to renew some cells in the body, repair the old ones and renew some and bring some new ones. It helps the body system. It's something one can eat at any age, at any stage. Now tell me, how come that kind of produce is not selling?
That is a big question we need to ask ourselves.
And that project I saw in it is what I think the youth need to go and search about. Look at the prospect of this business. One thing is so certain, this business is going to come back to the level it's supposed to be. It's going to be a business everybody will embrace. It's going to come to that stage. That's why we need us in it. Very essential. And back to the issue of pricing. It won't sound new, but I noticed some things, my own little research.
Okay.
I trade for an international NGO. I've met so many farmers. And I've said this too. but probably it's not yet time to work on it. Before now, I believe 4 things make fish to be profitable.
Okay.
But there's this training I attended at Search Farm, where the facilitator now added one thing to it.
Yes.
Okay, since we are there.
Yes, I was there. I
always believe, and I said this to all people I train to. Good seed, which is the good fish you want to stock.
Okay.
Good feed, quality feed. We all know if kids are good, have no deficiency, anything, give them good food, they're bound to grow well.
Exactly.
So, for fish too. And good water, which is good environment. And the last one is the management.
That was for you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if the feed is good, the water is good, the management is bad, there'll be problem.
Sure.
But good seed, good feed, good water, and good management. One will be able to get results. The man added one thing, marketing.
Exactly.
And I think it's something we all need to really put in our head. Because it's affecting us before now. The marketing is an essential part. I've not really added it to that 4 things I know that want to make profit in this business. Now, because we are non-unison, we don't have one single voice. We do things the way we want it. I think when we are together, we can always decide on the price, on the cost of feed to arrive at the selling price. But we are not together. Another issue we're having is this, which is the main issue I think is really affecting us for now.
Okay.
Now, the problem is here. How best can we solve it? I think we have 2 things to really do. One is enforcement.
Okay.
As an association, can we enforce a law that people will abide by? Let's face this road, or let's do this. That's why we need the government's intervention.
Okay.
Under the law, can they support us to enforce the law? Every farmer or every farm should sell at so price. If you sell below, they'll shut your farm for so time and you pay so fine. I'm sure everybody will be abide. Nobody wants to run at a loss.
Exactly.
One. Secondly, don't let me say access to finance. Don't let me say loan. Let me say standard established cooperative.
Okay.
That's where you cannot really blame some farmers
that are selling at lower price.
Yes, let's be considerate. Now, everybody wants to make gains.
Exactly.
Be it your other business elsewhere, sort of a side business, at least you are putting money into it. You want something to come out of it to sustain it. The farmer has fish worth of 3,000 naira in his or her ponds. And that's an issue, an urgent issue of 300,000 naira. I couldn't get loan anywhere. An urgent issue of finance
that I need to sort out.
And urgent, maybe medical or something or education for the children. What we expect?
That's true.
Some will need to make your own ask
to get what you want.
What wants. But there's an established cooperative you can run to. Don't let me use microfinance bank or commercial bank or any other access to loan. We have an established cooperative you can call on, because that's a group you can call on at any time and they will listen and understand immediately. Don't need to fill too many forms. Okay, I have also fish in my pond. I need also amount urgently. What can you do for me? And they know you have something that can really cover for the
exactly.
They will give. Then you can be okay and continue. But if you have no access to finance, it's only be a problem. Even if we come together, we still need to have a standard and established cooperative that we can rely on for assistance. There's many things we call loan. It's not only by giving out cash or money.
That's true.
In the plain language.
That's true.
Sometimes that's why we need to really collaborate with ourselves. The association is an allied, not just fish farmers. Other things that goes along with it. We are together. You as a fish seller, I can come to you. I have also amount in my pond, which I need to sell in a month's time, but I have no more feed to take them to that level.
Can you give me the feed so that when I sell, I will give you the money back?
Give the money back.
That is collaboration now.
Collaboration.
Which is very rare. I don't think feed company will want to do that.
No, but we have these sub-dealers, distributors that can do that. But if we have a standard cooperative, we can always rely on.
I agree with what you said.
So the two things that really help us out of the pricing issue, because everybody wants to make gains. Those that said lower might have an urgent issue. Fine. We have an established and standard cooperative and enforcement to those that go against the laws given by the association. Can help us out too.
Thank you very much, sir. You know, I said it earlier on that Yoruba will say, you can see what Mr. Ola just said now about the enforcement and the established cooperative now. So, but I want to say this now, just to buttress this point. You see, it's quite saddening when you see, fish is an edible commodity, essential commodity, that, according to what you said, because it's just food that everybody must feed on every day. But I think, why is it very difficult for us to have a unique price? Now, let's say today they said they want to start selling pure water by at rate of 15 naira per one. Within 10 minutes, it's going to circulate the whole nation, and they will sell it at that price. But I'm finding it difficult. Why is it difficult for us to sell fish at the same price, which Mr. Ola has given us one of the solutions that we can always use to approach it. But so now, and I want to say this to some of our association as well. So we still need to get to know some of our members too, to have more membership in our association, because when they are with us, that is where we know we have a regulation. If they are talking about enforcement, we know, okay, these are our fish farmers. Anybody that is doing fish farming without being in an association, I think if the government assists and help us to make that regulation or the enforcement stand, I think that is going to be a good one. So I wouldn't want us to talk more about this topic, because I know if we allow Mr. Ola to talk more about it, he has a lot to say about it. So now, just to wrap up now, sir, what advice do you have for the youth? Because now I think I'm just coming from Said Farm now, which we have some students from different schools by, I think, one organization or one NGO, which they brought some students for a sightseeing and farm tour, which is one of the things that I think is good. Because when you go to a farm, definitely your interest is going to increase in going into that kind of business as well. Because some of our youth don't want to go into agriculture; they think it's a dirty job, which is why this we bring up this program. Looking at Mr. Ola, you won't tell me he's not living fine, and he's a farmer. You know, sometimes people, when people see us outside, they ask us, "Are you guys a farmer?" You are a farmer, but at least they'll say you guys are too fresh. You are fresh than being a farmer. You know, farming is not just as dirty as you think it was now. So we are trying to call on youth to come into the agricultural sector. Sir, what advice do you have for youth to come into the agricultural sector?
As I've said earlier, what prompted me to fish farming is the prospect I see in it. And I can tell you one thing. I told you I train for an NGO, international NGO. If they train in fish farming, 90% of the attendees immediately want to go to fish farming immediately.
Exactly, because you see business opportunity.
There are some things they don't see until you go to the farm, you see and you hear more about it. So they should look at the prospects and they should try and visit the farm, ask one or two questions, or attend fish training. I can bet you it will change their mind. They see farming as a dirty business, but if they go to some farms, those things you see as dirty, it will change your mindset completely. They are not dirty as you think. There are money hidden in it, and you will see it yourself. Aside there's this thing I went to. You are told, if you see the fish swimming in water, helps your system. I advise you for the old ones, go to fish farms, sit around, watch the way the fish swims in water. It clears your mind, make you think straight. Have you tried that before? I've tried that before. I went to my farm in the night. You see the way catfish swim in the night. You feel like going into it. So they should look at the prospect. Visit farms. Don't just read about it. Visit farms. Go to trainings. And I can bet you, if you change your mindset, you have interest in fish farming more than before.
Thank you very much, sir. You see, it's coming from another angle now because the guests that we have before, they will say go into it. But now you have given them another insight that you just look at the prospect and what the business you want to go into. And I also want to add this to what he said. This is what I always say every time that you can. It's not compulsory you should go into the production aspect. Yes, you can. Everybody will not be a producer because when you have too much supply and there is no demand for it, that is another thing. So you can look into another value chain that you can always venture into. There are many value chains. We are talking about value addition in aquaculture, in agriculture, in vegetable farming. There are many things that you can always do your hands on. And lastly, you can be a banker and you are still a farmer. You can be a tech guy and you're still a farmer. So it doesn't have anything to. This is something that you can always do even in your backyard and you're going to make your money from it. So I want to round up the program now. I want to say a very big thank you to Mr. Ola for coming on this show. I know it's not that easy because you are a busy person. So but at least you just leave your time for us to even come on this show just to honor us. We are very grateful. And if you are just joining us on this live show, we are rounding up now. We are on Meet the Farmers, which I am your host on this show, which we are talking about. We are bringing different farmers from different sector. Mr. Ola is from the aquaculture sector. Now, I think last week we brought a farmer from the poultry sector, which she shared her success story as well and how she started. So today, I think this is going to be like an inspiration to you as well, that you need to look at the prospect in the agricultural sector that you want to go into. And when you look at the prospect and you try to visit farm as well, don't just go on Google and read alone. I'm not saying Google is not good. Yes, Google will give you a guide, but visit farm physically. That will give you an insight. Okay, sir.
Let me quickly add this to it to buttress what you said.
Okay.
Fish farming has to do with production of fish, smoking of fish, but it goes beyond that.
Exactly.
The main derivatives from fish farming, about 10 to 16. And whatever the meat is good for, fish can also be good for it.
Exactly.
Shawarma, pie, barbecue, so many other things that fish can be used for. And there is this thing people don't know about catfish specifically. People see it as a point and kill. But it can be frozen too.
Exactly.
And the frozen catfish is something I will advise everyone to go and try. Because once it's frozen, it reduces the slime to 90 to 10% from 100%. And it stays firmer in the soup than fresh. And many people have never tasted fried catfish before. You don't believe it can be fried.
Okay, so you mean you can even fried
catfish? It's something, it's a good delicacy, something we'd like to eat again. So there are many things about catfish that it's like a myth. But catfish is in a position on the same level with other imported fish that comes to this country. And another thing is this: these imported ones have been preserved for too long. Just like in rice farming too, some rice are 6 and 7 years rice. They still bring it to this country. We rush at it. Whereas our eco rice is rice of just 2, 3, 4 months with the essentials, vitamins, and minerals still intact. Same goes for fish. Catfish, something you see, you can buy immediately and eat. It can be frozen in 2, 3 days. You still eat it with the protein still much intact. No preservative, nothing. Natural. Compared to the imported ones that might have been preserved for 6 months or more. So catfish is as good as every other fish you see in the frozen rooms. It can be fried, you can do it. It's like any other fish. So we need to have that in mind. So let us see it as if it's just a point and kill. It's like a myth we've been following. Let's see the perspective towards this.
Thank you very much, sir. I know he has a lot to say about the value addition, which I think in the next subsequent program we are going to bring him to talk more about value addition in catfish, which I think that is a topic on its own. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone that has joined us on this our live show today, which we call Meet the Farmers. We are going to be rounding up the show today. So I want to leave you with this word and say, as we are looking into the future, please don't leave behind your culture, because they both go hand in hand. So because we are talking about culture, future, they go hand in hand. My name is Olumide once again. I am your host on this wonderful show that will call Meet the Farmers. Till I come your way next time on this show and on this same page, which is called Voice of the Farmer. Till I see you next time, I say bye-bye and God bless.
Farming is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the Farmers